Yeah, first and foremost, it's like I always said, my favorite time of the year. Just excited for those of you who saw the social media post last night at my house, and we literally had people outside of my door. We had no more room. I was about to call Robbie and see if we can go to his new house. Just excited. It was great, especially after a year that your name was left out and having to sit in that room. Let me tell you, that's one of the hardest feelings. And so for me personally, this one's for Jessica, Carter, Anaya, or Aaron Barnum, and Lauren Park Lane, because obviously last year they were shortchanged. So that's my energy for them. But then for our players this year who made the commitment to come, my staff, our fans, and then also a shout out last night to our men's team. That was really cool right before our name was called to watch where they're going. And again, for 2 hours, just joy. And then a shout out to the rest of the SEC women's basketball teams and men's teams that made huge statements and had their name called. So very excited. This being Team 51, back dancing in the big tournament. This is only our 13th school appearance in the NCAA tournament, and then most proud, 2 of the last 3 years since I've been here, we've been in the tournament. So we're not in the little dance. We're in the big dance, so let's lace it up and let's see how things fall.
Robbie, when you think back to the disappointment of last year, I know it was disappointing when y'all were down in the team room last year. Just to get to enjoy that with your team this year again, and just kind of see all the hard work come to fruition. I mean, how did that feel after dealing with that for 365 days or whatever it was?
Yeah, you're just speechless because as a coach, I know we're more than sports. That's what we preach to our young women, which we do, and we do a great job of that. But obviously, it's a part of your life. It's part of my family. It's their lives. You can go to any school, so you make a commitment because you make a commitment because you want to play in the big dance outside of an education. So for all their dreams and their sacrifices, and I keep having this picture in my office that I refer to as our strength coach, who's the bomb. Had our kids pushing F-150 trucks, all right, up hills. And I know, like, to the outsider, it's like, I probably have never done that, I haven't either, but my kids did. And if you're pushing and you're sweating in that Mississippi heat and you're waking up at 6 in the morning, why are you doing this, right? And it's for that moment to hear your name called. It's that moment where your mind didn't think it could go, but it did. So it's, again, just goosebumps as an adult to see these kids have an experience that they'll never forget, especially when we just had alumni weekend and we were talking about the history, and then obviously having Victoria Vivens on staff with the awesome runs that they have. You talk about those stories, so let's go make one this year.
Benjamin?
I know this is sort of how you have to play things in this era of college basketball and college sports in general, but just with such a new group and most guys who hadn't played together before this year, what does it mean for them to get to this point and have the chance to prove themselves on this national stage?
Yeah, it's everything. So yesterday in practice, I actually put the 4 returners who stayed, because you gotta look at the dynamics of the team. You've got Jerk, BP, Neer, and Rocio, where the season ended last year, and they were the only ones. And you kind of look to the left, and it's like, there's 2 of you, there's 1 of you, and there's 1 of me. We only got 4. We ain't got enough for a team, right? And that's today's college era, and it's just the chaos that comes with graduation and the transfer portal. And obviously, like they were probably hit up and said, hey, you better leave because they're not going to have a winning program. But them to be like, nah, I love it here, right? This is a special place, and we're going to make sure we bring in special players. We clapped it up for them because it starts with the core. And then I took them out of the circle, and then I brought in all the transfers. And I said, you all deserve your flowers too, because there was only 4 kids here. So you came here for an opportunity, but not only did you take advantage, came here for the opportunity, but you took advantage of it. So everybody, it's just really cool, the dynamics. And then also give the flowers to my staff. We had 2 coaches that go on to be head coaches. I don't know if anybody has had as much turnover positively as we have this past year. And any time that you've got turnover, you have a lot of coaches here that sit here and say, you know what, we're rebuilding or we're regrowing. We came right back in 1 year. And I think that's the most proud thing I'm about right now for our program is we got right back into the NCAA tournament with so many new pieces and so many new faces.
Bryce?
Coach headed to LA. I saw you were on Celeb Call Out last night on social media.
Let's go.
Beyond that, just talk about the trip there, and especially for the Mississippi State faithful, think about making that trip there as well as support.
Yeah, come on. I'm calling all the Bulldogs. Obviously, I'm on one. You know me. I love stories. I love movies, so it's ironic we're going to California, right? And the script's kind of already been written. We actually joked because with our team, we were like, okay, who are we going to play? You know, because obviously we knew we were in. I thought we were going to be in TCU with Louisville. And so when it pops up Louisville as a 7th seed, I thought we could be a 10 seed just for storylines, because in women's basketball, they do a lot of that seeding sometimes for ratings. So Louisville pops up, the whole team starts screaming, it goes TCU, and then obviously we weren't in. And then I was like, okay. So we're like, all right. And then obviously the next bracket comes out and we're called. But in this one, it's interesting because first and foremost, let's talk about Cal. Cal is unbelievable, okay, in multiple ways. Number one, they have a great head coach, okay, in Sherman Smith, who I have a ton of respect for, okay. Actually ran into her. This is a small world. I can't wait to see her again. In women's basketball, we have a recruiting shutdown. We both were in Vegas. So, Sherman, I apologize if I'm calling out where you were and you didn't tell nobody, but I am right now. We ran into each other in the casino. She's great. She was there to watch the Aces like I was, the WNBA team, to get better during the off period. So I have a ton of respect for her. They've made the most threes of any team in the ACC. First 25-win seasons, 8 straight weeks in the AP top 25, multiple ranked wins, and then they have wins over common opponents that we've played. Alabama, Georgia Tech, and Auburn. Top 25 wins against NC State and FSU, and then obviously because of our hard work, they have an administration who's already given our head coach an extension, so they've got a great storyline. Then the other storyline is they're in California, and I think their stats are skewed, all right, because they have hard travel. You know, a lot of their losses were away, right? You know, at Clemson, other Louisville, Notre Dame, where those are hard road trips. So I think when you look at them on paper, there's a storyline that they get to go right up the road back to an area they're very familiar with. And then obviously the stories have already been written that it's going to be Cal and USC, where Lindsay, the head coach there, who used to coach at Cal. So I love it, all right? Nobody's picking the dogs, all right? We're going to show up to California. Nobody thinks we're going to win. And just like any good movie, let's see if we can come with some energy and rewrite the script. And that's what I'm going to share with my young women here at practice when we have it.
Sam, I don't know if you were aware of this, but I believe it's the first time ever that all 4 basketball teams from Mississippi State and Ole Miss are in the NCAA tournament at the same time. What do you think that maybe just means for basketball in the state, or people in Mississippi, and what the sport is at right now?
Yeah, so I'm going to combine those because I didn't finish answering your question. That's where I'm excited, and that's where I was going on my thing last night, is especially in the women's game. The women's game has got unbelievable energy right now, unbelievable growth. And what I love that's actually happened on the West Coast is because they live there, some Hollywood stars are respecting the women's game, and they're coming out. So that was kind of my play call last night is, you know what, this state is very special. It's slept on just like my women's team who's about to go to California. All right, nobody's talking about us. We're not supposed to win, blah, blah, blah. So I want to invite the people who are proud to be here, the proud that have lived here. I went through a roll call and probably had 5 people at the gas station that gave me 5 more names. I told them, you had me last night. I ain't got time today. I got to break down film. So I'll let everybody else tag people and tweet, and let's see if we can't get a special crowd at our game. But then to your point of your question, again, I think it gives perspective of how special, we've got a product right now on a national stage within our own state. And as much as we want to beat them and they want to beat us, it's great for the people who live here. And then most importantly, the future of men and women's basketball within the state, that hopefully their lens continues to grow because they're watching great basketball here at the collegiate level.
Coach, obviously, Jacayla has had some success in the NCAA tournament and won 2 games. How important will that experience be, especially when it's coming from your leader?
It's gonna be huge. I mean, obviously they're gonna be. I love the. Like I said, the storylines. They're not gonna be talking about her. Jerk knows what's up. They're gonna be talking about the other J, Juju, right? Which obviously deserves it. So Jerk's gonna get to come in under the radar. All right, she knows what's up. She could have left and transferred anywhere else, but she stayed here to get this program back into the NCAA tournament. And again, I've told y'all, one of my favorite pictures is 2 years ago, her slapping that board. And then again, it happened last night. I think she was as happy as with Anaya Russell, hearing her name and the team's name called on there. And again, that's why you coach, for moments like that, to see their faces and the joy that they have, the pride of that uniform, but most importantly, seeing it called in the big tournament.
Yesterday, hearing your name called, now looking ahead to some travel as well. What does the week ahead look for you guys in terms of preparation and everything going forward to get ready?
Man, fun, right? I don't want to keep the joy. I know a lot of people are like, hey, go win some games. No, blank. All right, that's what we're going to do. But at the same time, you know what? My young women have really worked hard. That, you know, college basketball, like I always say, there's two kind of coaches. There's coaches that just make you sit in the hotel and think about it. We've played 5 months of great basketball. They know what to do. They know how to dial in. So let's enjoy the luxury of having the band, the cheerleaders going with us, sightseeing a little bit, enjoying areas that if I poll my kids today, I'd probably only say 3 kids have been to L.A., right? So that's my job as an educator and as a head coach, is to give them experiences that they'll never forget. If the Lakers want to donate and you want to tweet this out, tickets for the Bulldogs, you know, we'll take courtside seats. Jack Nicholson, I don't think he's from Mississippi, but, you know, let's see where this can go and have some fun. And again, let's just have an energy and a joy being tourists, and let's see if we can change the script this week down there at the NCAA tournament.
Yeah, you know, get LeBron out there.
Amen.
Yeah, I just want to ask about Medina and her, you know, preparation for her first game in this tournament at this level. Obviously, she's been somewhat of a revelation in her first year playing here in the U.S. So what's going to take for her to, you know, continue to up her game now that the pressure is higher than ever?
Yeah, I don't think it's so much pressure. I think it's just her, you know, with experience and opportunity. I think what you're watching is, you know, obviously early in the year she had some travel turnovers and some frustrations. You know, what we joked about, she didn't even know some of the calls of the game, where I was like learning with her as we went, like, you know, forgetting how different, like a 3 seconds in the lane, and Coach, why is this referee calling that weak foul? And I'm like, that's America, okay? So experience is awesome. So I think some of that growth has occurred, and that's where I don't think it's so much pressure. It's just every game she plays, she's figuring out on the collegiate level, and we're watching a star be developed right in front of our eyes. Thanks, everybody.